it was like a big golden age of action films in Hollywood, wasn't it? And the first one was just this small science fiction action film, which, you know, you weren't expecting to come out and just going, holy moly, you know, truly. And then the second one came along and was this massive, big, oh my God. And, you know, all of a sudden, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jim Cameron, they were everywhere. Well, you get to see and know John in a way that you never have before. John lies at the heart of this. Man, you know, instead of just, you know, the rise of the machines and machines taking over the computers and sending in the bombs, it's like man is machine, machine is man. There's a, you know, and at the heart of that is our problem. You know, really, what are we going to do when we create technology that is going to surpass us? And do we really expect it to sit around and you know, be our, you know, secondary to us, you know? And John enters the machine, or the machine enters John, and he's, instead of being constricted or being a terrible thing for him, you know, he's free. It's great. It's fantastic. Look what I can do. And, you know, like Noah in the Ark, he's got room for a couple of people on his boat. Let's go. And that's the beauty of what Cameron set up, that with technology, it's only going to grow exponentially, and it gets, the moral question gets deeper. Yes, there's the physical things, but the moral question and the real, you know, look at ourselves and what we're doing and what we're creating is, you know, much more complex. We build it. You know, we are the cause of our own destruction. We are our own worst enemy, which is what is fascinating, I think. Good. You know, some good boots. Look, when I read the script, that was what I really loved. The fact that they weren't shying away from what needed to be done if you're going to pick this up again and do it. You need to have a very good, deep, complex, intellectually challenging reason for doing, you know, then a big action science fiction film. And putting John at the center of it and letting us see what happens to John if this guy who is, you know, the savior of mankind, you know, the leader of the resistance, the messiah, to see, you know, well, of course that's who Skynet's going to go after. Of course that's, you know, it's like Alexander the Great on a battlefield, you know, putting yourself in the white makes them come after you. Let's take him out and see what happens. And so I was really, you know, interested in what they'd written. And then also I loved Eddie in too, you know, just that child and that freedom and that relationship that he had with Arnold and Arnold's character. Yeah, it's really surreal. He's great at making you feel comfortable and making you feel included, you know, and entertaining. And, you know, he's an inspiration, Arnold. You know, and I don't mean in some big grand way, but just in an everyday, the way he conducts himself, the way that he's, you know, he's generous with his time, with his money, with the things that he set up. He's involved in the world politically, environmentally. You know, he's a very interesting man to spend half an hour with, or, you know, 2 or 3 months with. It takes it and makes it relevant. You know, it takes that big fear we have of, you know, Judgment Day, which is biblical, of technology, which is, you know, as you said, you know, with Apple, we live our lives in the media. I mean, some people live there, you know, don't do anything unless it's publicized or out there or on this. So that is is the heart of something. Like, we can't drown ourselves as human beings. We want to live and we want to breathe, and yet we do everything to destroy it. And that is what I think, rather than flips it on its head, makes this, you know, a story worth investigating and worth, you know, going with, you know, the exponential jumps that have happened. A big action sci-fi film which has enough to get you thinking afterwards, which is what the first one had for me, which is what Star Wars had for me, or Blade Runner has for me, that you just go, you know, yeah, you start really imagining it, you start thinking about it, you know, as well as, you know, absolutely, bang, you know, we're throwing down some pretty big sequences here.